Hi everyone, welcome to the 33rd Singapore International Film Festival. And today we're very happy to be hosting the producer and the director of Summer with Hope, Kiarash and Sadaf today for this online Q&A. And I would like to take this opportunity to send my regards to the both of you. And of course to what's happening in Iran right now. And it's a pity that both of you are not able to join us in Singapore, but we'll take this chance to chat more about your film. Yeah. So I'd like to, maybe my first question about the film is really to chat about the characters that you have. So I know that the main character, Omid, the name means hope in Farsi. So I'd like to actually find out why you decided to name the character after hope, and how does that bear significance in the story that unfolds in your film?
First of all, I would like to thank you and Singapore Film Festival for giving the chance to Summer with Hope. It is an honor for us to have our premiere in your festival. I'm very happy to share the film with your audience because for me, the film is not completed unless the audience watch the film. So I am truly happy to share it with your wonderful audience. We are living in a very difficult time in Iran now, both feeling, if you like, and at the same time we have lots of hope. As you mentioned, I named my the protagonist of the film, Hope, after the name of a bird in Iran that the couple of this bird has been shot, but this bird is still living in the same place, hoping one day another couple come and complete him. It was very interesting for me to have this story, and I thought it's important to name my protagonist Omid, who has hope and also who hope to have again somewhere in this universe the couple that he lost.
Thank you for your answer. Kiarash, do you have anything else to add?
Actually, Sadaf said it very well. I mean, explained it very well. But yes, we are hopeful. I mean, we are in a very difficult time, as Sadaf mentioned, but we are hopeful, very hopeful, and so I think Sadaf by choosing the name of her protagonist, Hope, wanted to tell us, I mean, tell the audience that despite the difficult times, we always can be hopeful to change. I mean, things to reach and to have what we want and what we struggle for.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. I will move on to the next question, and I think it's related to how the characters need to find hope in the story. So I'm quite curious to really hear from you guys about some of these competing factors or competing relationships that's present in the film. We're talking about maybe the main character, Omid, struggle against his own family, his mother, his uncle. We're talking about the bureaucracy that we can see when they were trying to apply for the swimming competition. And there were also many, I guess, competing factors between, I guess, some of the authorities that you see within the story, as well as some of the people who are just trying to find maybe liberation within their own lives. So maybe can you share a bit more about what inspired you to put this competing relationships in the film, and what do they mean to you?
Actually, unfortunately, in countries like mine, we have victims. People can be killed without any reason, and there are only titles, there are only names. And we forget that behind these names of adolescent children, women and men, there is a universe of love, of hope, of wishes. And for me, it is important to give them images. That's why I thought now we have two boys that loves each other. One of them is killed and another is near to be killed. So I have to give them a face. As you know, as filmmaker, we tell our stories to show the world that we are all the same. We are people. We have hope. We would like to have a normal life. And that's how we can, when we share our stories, we keep telling that, please don't forget that we are all together. Please, let's, support each other for a better world, not only for a better Iran, but for a better world full of peace, friendship, comprehensive.
Thank you. Kiarash, anything to add about that?
No, just to complete, I mean, what Sadaf mentioned, I just want to add, I mean, this is my own interpretation, of course, but I think, I mean, I know that Sadaf also had this intention that the film is kind of the film shows a kind of it's kind of symbolic, and shows this little community as a symbol of a larger community, which could be Iran, which could be the world, as she mentioned.
And I would also like to speak about the, I think, very distinctive style for cinematography. So I think that also extends to how you see the world, or how you see these competing relationships or tensions that's happening within the society. So maybe if you were to maybe explain to the audience how you came up with your cinematography, something about having long shots and something about being quite obscure in terms of dialogue and in terms of not explaining too much of the narrative. So maybe if you were to share with us how you came up with the cinematography.
Actually, I tell the story in different layers. One of the layers is the script, of course, and then I choose the mise-en-scène that is fit this story. I wrote it like a haiku. Why? Because, as you know very well, the convention and the essence of haiku is stillness, something is there. And so I document what happened in Iran, what happened to this family, more than be involved. So by this distance, I feel that I give the liberty to the audience from other parts of Iran to come film with me from their point of view. So this is kind of, it makes the film more interactive. If it gives a respect to the audience and a place to complete it, to be part of the creative part. So that's how I choose the, in line actually with my previous film, I choose this style. And I have to say that since 2003, Kiarash and I working together, we've been at the same university. We started to make short films, although he started before 2003. And we always think about how we can tell our stories differently. Actually have the essence of Iranian cinema, but be quite different. So we discuss a lot about the aesthetic. We don't only just make a film, but we really think about every aspects of the film when we want to make some films.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty clear from the film and from your past film as well, how distinct it is from maybe traditional Iranian cinema that I've been exposed to. Kiarash, why did you choose to, produce so many films with Sadaf and collaborate with her? Yeah.
Actually, as she mentioned, we've been working together since 2014, 2004. Sorry, 2004, 2004, and we were in the students together. So we started making short films together. And also start to help each other to produce our films, which means that when I made my first feature film, Sadaf helped me in producing it. I mean, produced the film. Also, we were collaborating on the script, and then Sadaf made her first feature film, Ava, which I produced and also edit the film. This one, the same. I produced the film, and I'm also the editor. So we came to gradually, since we started, we came to this how can I say, a common language in making films and in style. So we start to more and more understand each other, because we came from two different worlds. I mean, my vision of filmmaking and Sadaf's vision of filmmaking are very different, but we managed to come to this common language and understanding each other in each of each of us projects. So yeah, this is why we continue to working together during this past 20 years almost. Yeah.
And as you know, when we work independently, it is not easy to finance and also continue working. We love stories, tell the stories, but at the same time, we would like to have different kind of mise en scène. So maybe these days it is not easy, and that's why I think when we help each other, support each other, it helps more, and we can also keep working on the same language as we.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, for sharing this, I think, very precious collaboration that is not easy to find sometimes in the film industry. I'm just curious about the reception that Summer with Hope had so far internationally, and how have audiences received the film. Especially the film might not be, in terms of plot, not an obvious one for people to get sometimes, but how did different audiences from across the world receive the film so far?
Actually, the film had a difficult life, if you like. I share this with you. We filmed actually we started the production of the film in 2019 in Tehran. In that time, Kiarash and I used to live in Canada, between Canada and Iran. And when we finished the shooting of the film, after the shooting, one night, the secure police of the government came to my house to arrest me, and to Kiarash's house to arrest him because of the subject of the film. And in that night, all the dailies has been confiscated. Kiarash and I has been banned, home banned for 6 months. And gradually after 6 months, we had the liberty to leave Tehran, and after 3 years to leave Iran. So it was in 2022 when we had our passports back. You can imagine that the film is very dear for us. And if you remember when Kiarash wrote to you that we've been very busy with things and we didn't have the time and chance to submit the film, and you kindly accepted to watch the film because your deadline has been passed. We've been very busy with this problem that we had in Iran. Fortunately, we had our dailies back to be able to edit the film and show the authorities that we didn't, do anything wrong. Well, after this, we had the chance that the film has been accepted in Karlovy, and it was wonderful. We didn't have the right to say anything about what happened to us. And if you see the images, I only cry because after 3 years, I had my film. Kiarash also, so it was, we had difficult times. Anyway, I'm happy that the film is there. I'm honored that the film is in your wonderful festival and we can share it with the audience. So the film that you're watching could be more completed than that because it miss some parts that has been confiscated. But Kiarash did a wonderful job. We worked together for editing the film, and we try to be as honest as we can to the script and to the audience, very truly to the story. So you are right, the plot might be difficult. It was intentional at the very beginning because in Iran we cannot tell everything. We have to, as you know, we have some lots of limitations. And when we want to work in Iran, especially when we are independent and we know that we don't have any voice, like we didn't have. So we respect a lot to not have any problem later. Unfortunately, we had. I'm happy with the film. I'm happy that the film is there. I'm very happy, and I feel that it has its connection with the audience as much as it could. I hope that you liked it. I guess you did.
I did.
And I hope you liked it. Will like it, enjoy watching it. So this is the story, and I would love to have your thoughts, the thoughts of your audience on the film later.
Of course, I will try my best to send some of the regards back to you guys.
Thank
you. Kiarash, anything about the production, the difficulties and the results that you guys have now? Anything you want to share from a producer's point of view?
Yeah, actually, as Sadaf said, we had lots of difficulties during the post-production of the film, because after the production is finished, we got arrested, and then the dailies were confiscated. So 3 years after the production, we start to edit the film and do the post-production. It's almost 2 or 3 months before Karlovy. So we tried our best to finish the film and send the final film to the festival, which won the Grand Prix there. For us, it was like a dream, and a very beautiful dream after 3 years of nightmares, So that's why the film is very precious for us, and I tried our best to to show it as much as possible to the world, and to have feedbacks from the audience. And yes, I think it received lots of good, feedbacks and reviews from the audience, from the film critics, and yes. And to answer your question about the style of the film, the film is, yes, the film is difficult to, story wise. As Sadaf said, it was intentional from the beginning, but then since we obliged to remove some scenes, because we don't have access to those scenes, because they were deleted by the people who confiscated the dailies. So we start to discuss this, so how to finish the film in a very appropriate way, and in a very in the style that we had in mind. Sadaf had in mind before this happening. So we constantly, during the editing, we constantly reminding each other of what, for instance, Martin Scorsese's, he has a famous quote, says the film is what in front of the camera, and what is in the frame and what is outside the frame. The importance of the film. So we constantly remind this to each other, that we have to work on sounds, especially, and out of the frame sounds, to tell our story in much more clear way. It's like, it's working under limitation, but to be creative under some restrictions and limitation.
I do think that what turned out from the limitations you guys had is, it turns out, at least to me, especially moving, because as an audience, I could see how much you guys needed to obscure, to pull back. But if someone who knows the situation, especially in Iran, knows how much you guys can't review as well, and the parts that you guys reviewed in the end were the most moving ones, personally. So I think in the end, I'm going to say that it's a blessing in disguise, because it's, getting someone to compromise the film is the worst nightmare ever. But what turned out as the final film is something that I think stirred emotionally, and at least to my programming team. So I still want to congratulate you guys for completing the film despite all the difficulties. And I think with this online Q&A, it's also a symptom of the restrictions, right? In the end, you guys are unable to join us, but we find creative ways to still let you guys have, a chance to speak to our audience. So I'm very grateful to have this chance to speak to you guys here. I think my last question is a very simple one. What do you hope for our local audience, the Singapore audience, to take away from the film, especially when I think themes in the film can be quite universal to many people?
Hope. The only thing. I think hope is important, gives us the motivation to continue, unless all the difficulties and limitations we have.
Thank you, Sadaf. Kiarash, anything? And any last words for us?
Yes, same. Hope. Be hopeful and pursuing your dreams, and don't be disappointed. Despite all the odds and all the difficulties which we all have in our lives. And I'm not saying that limitation or restriction is good, but nobody wants to be restricted or be limited in their creative process. But when you have no other choice, the best thing is to do what you do your best. I mean, do what you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we are very honored to have Summer with Hope as the Iranian representative in our Asian feature film competition at the festival. And yeah, we hope that our audience will like the film as much as I did. And with that, thank you to both of you for
Thank you.
joining me for this Q&A. Hope to see you guys around in person one day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Iranian, please be the voice of Iranian women, life, freedom.
Yes, we will spread the message to our audience for sure. Thank you so much.